What's up, everybody? It's your boy Astro. Uh, I didn't know that I was gonna be on, but how y'all doing? What's good? Glad to be with y'all. I haven't seen or talked with you guys in a long time, you know. And I appreciate you guys being very, how should I put this? Very patient with somebody like myself. Oh, I have to sign to the chat. All message. Okay, let me see. Let me sign in. Damn. Oh, give me a second. I'm here with you. Next. I can't remember my own keyword. Okay. All right. Okay. I can't even see you guys. So if you're talking, I apologize. You know. All right. Let's go. Let me get a verification code. Oh my God. Ah, sorry guys. It's just crazy how this works. So we'll try another way. Let me get a verification code so I can be able to see because I can't see y'all. I can't see what you're saying. I'm just here, just talking, and so I haven't done this in a while. So y'all gotta forgive me. Yes. All right. All right. All right, chat. What's good? I don't know what happened just now. Okay. All right, everybody. It's your boy Astro. I'm just here, just talking until I can get this right. I don't know what. I don't know what's going on here. Ah, there you go. I can see y'all now. I can see y'all. Jumping the picket fence. Hey, good to have you. Good to have you. It's your boy Astro. I can't complain. That's been good. Addie that said not doing any more passive aggression. Yes, 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 I am. I am doing some more passive aggressions. It's just the fact that, you know, I just need to be able to do what I can do, how I do it. You see what I'm saying? And there's no reason for me not to have passive aggression. It's just that America, America is a very strange place now. All right, it's a very strange place now. You know, that's the only thing. That's the only thing. You know, is that America is really being very not America. This Trump America is it's just something. It's just someplace else. That's as that's as best as I can say it without getting flagged by YouTube. You know, they be watching everything. As y'all know, a few months ago, my Facebook and my Instagram got deleted. All right, my Facebook and Instagram got deleted. They deleted my Facebook and my Instagram. I have none of those, and I think it was Meta AI that did it. You know, there aren't really human beings interfacing between the people who use Facebook now. They're using bots. And if they put in some flag words for the bots and they see that some words are being said a lot more or things that they don't want to happen on your Facebook, whether it had been 10 years ago or 15 years ago, then they flag it. They delete. So they deleted my Facebook and they deleted my Instagram same time. And I have no more Facebook, no more Instagram. I tried getting it back, but the only way to get it back is to sue them, is to sue Facebook, put pressure on them. And truth be told, if a, if I get that was 16 years of just research, information, knowledge that I shared with them, trusting that they would, in some way, form, or fashion, keep that without judgment of any kind of persecution or any kind of ostracization or being ostracized. All right. So that's just how it goes. Right now, I am just operating from TikTok. So if you don't know, I'm also on TikTok. All right. TikTok is right there. Okay. All right. So if you're interested on following me on TikTok, I have some videos. Same videos I post on YouTube are the same videos I post on TikTok. Just the longer ones are on YouTube. And also, I am, as you know, doing predictions every week for the world, every 5 days. Today will be a day that I release that as well. I also have a documentary I'm working on. I can't tell you what the documentary is about fully, but just know it's something to do with astrology. I'm gonna do mostly a documentary, well, on hypnosis, past life regressions. I'm gonna be using some of my old videos. As you know, I have a lot of them. Some of them y'all will probably never get a chance to see. All right, but it's because they're private. I can't really, um, you know, infringe on people's privacy. So just know that there's a documentary coming out the end of this month, and you're gonna love it. Yeah, especially you astrology followers, people who love astrology, follow astrology. You're gonna be able to see. All right, you're gonna be able to know exactly what's going on. Let me check my status. Okay. All right. We good. Let me check let me view my full screen interface. Okay. I wish I could be able to see you all this on. Most of the time you don't get a chance to see that. All right, y'all. So I'm opening up my readings to the public as I did on TikTok, but now mostly now on YouTube. And I'm gonna stay on here longer. Okay? So y'all gonna watch me roll up a blunt. Y'all gonna watch me smoke. Y'all gonna watch me look at other people's charts. And when you're interested in your chart, I'm gonna give you the information on how to get me the information. All right. If you're interested, for those who don't have my contact, my TikTok is Astro Einstein. Same name, same space, same name. TikTok, Astro Einstein. That's it. That's it, and that's all Astro Einstein. And once you get that, you can actually send me a message. You can DM me, for those who don't know. And for those who are, are haters, that's all on y'all. Okay? That's all on y'all. But it's been a while. Alright? Just come on. To bring happy earth. Exactly. Come on now. Come on in. So these past few days I've been really, really looking at midpoints and a lot of things. Somebody brought to my attention something about being able to see dreams in the chart, meaning people's dreams. And it's one of my students. They're pretty good. They mentioned that. Looking at midpoints and being able to tell somebody's chart, I mean, with a dream. Could you imagine? Could you imagine that even your dreams are not safe? Could you imagine that even your dreams, one would be able to know? That would be groundbreaking. I I um I encouraged my student. The person is pretty really good at astrology now. To continue checking that out because once you get into this sort of things, then you can understand certain aspects. And I'm really, really, I like this sort of thing, you know. Yeah, yes. So like so collective, getting into people's dreams to astrology. This is why people are so afraid of astrology sometimes, I guess. And for y'all who are watching, I'm gonna share with y'all some stuff. Okay, I want to share with you um, some things. We've been lied to for a very long time, right? The persons who the persons who gave us this this Bible and astrology, they lied to us. They lied to us. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. They lied to us. And when I say they lied to us, I mean that they gave us this thing. They gave us religion. All right? They gave us religion. They gave us Christianity. And they blotted out, they intentionally took out astrology. When I say intentionally took out, I mean they implemented in the Bible verses that would turn you off. They did. And I know the Bible fanatics are gonna come at me. I don't give a shit, especially with this documentary I'm making. Y'all, the groundbreaking research that I've came into contact with, the groundbreaking research I came in contact with, is gonna really, really blow your mind. Some of the names that I'm gonna call, you never heard, ever, in history, nowhere. You've never heard of them. They don't teach you these names. Okay? They don't teach you a goddamn thing. Nothing. They don't. will say is this: you're going to be surprised at the people who've been in charge of writing the Bible. And I know they like to say, well, man didn't write the Bible. That's some dumb shit. That's some dumb shit, yo. Okay? It's some dumb shit. When I say that, hey Astrid, Jerry, Sean, okay, I received the chats. Really, really, really. Hey Sean, Ali, jumping the picket fence. Jerry, Auburn, what's going on, sugar? What's going on, everybody? So yeah, Alston Santic, Alston's antics. Okay, Ray. So they lied to us. They told us that the Bible was written by man, inspired by God. I can sit here and tell you that they told you a lie. Holistic Sunshine. Hey. Wow. Hey, what's going on? Holistic Sunshine. Long time. So they told us that nobody wrote the Bible. They didn't. It was just inspired by man. It's inspired by God, written by man. Now they didn't say who these men were. Do you know why? See, before I let my video out, I'm going to tell y'all this. Okay? I'm going to tell you who it is before I let my documentary out. Now, if you've never heard of these four names and you've been following the Bible your whole life, then you are just a blind sheep. You're just a sheep. I was there. I know how it is to be a sheep. And you, my friend, are a blind sheep. You can share this with anybody who is a Christian, who is a Bible thumper. I want to have this conversation because this conversation is needed. For y'all who've been looking at astrology in a negative way, for y'all who've been using Bible verses to condemn astrology, y'all have been bamboozled, hoodwinked, run amok, because you don't even know these people. Hey, tall, black, and beautiful, what's going on? All right. Now, let me explain to you. All right? Oh, okay, let's sunshine. You know, my word is your word. Let me explain to you all these four people, these four persons. Now, you've heard about one of these names. Only one you've heard. Because you probably heard it from me or from TikToks, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, wherever. And that name you probably heard of the four people is Emperor Constantine. Now, I'm sure you heard of Emperor Constantine. You in the chat, all who've heard about Emperor Constantine, send a message, say, yes, I've heard of him. I want to hear from you. Let's go. This is an interactive conversation. Because I'm going to be looking at the chat and we're going to talk about this. Because y'all got to know. Y'all have to know. And everybody got to know. Anybody that's been following me on YouTube, you got to know how the hell we got the Bible. You have to know this. How we got this Bible, how they put this inside our mind, and how they had us to think, how they hoodwinked us, have us bamboozled. So you probably heard of the name Emperor Constantine. All right? There you go. Thank you, Solar Collective. Thank you, Holistic Sunshine. You know, if you probably heard it from me before me or after me, we know Emperor Constantine was sort of the foundation of why we have Christianity we have it now. All right? He was solely responsible for unifying his empire into one religion. So he was trying to fuse Judaism, Christianity, paganism, Zoroastrianism, and a few other religions. He wanted a council so that people could meet. The Jews never showed up. All right? The Zoroastrians never showed up. The only persons that showed up was these very far left Christians and the pagans. But not the right side Christians. And they formed the Council of Nicaea. They voted on how we should see who Jesus is. You already know that. But what you don't know, because they said that he converted to Christianity, he was a pagan, and he converted to Christianity. However, this man did some of the most atrocious things that you could ever thought of. Did you know that after he converted to Christianity, right after, he killed his son, execution style, and he boiled his wife alive and fed their remains to the dogs and the animals. This is the man that we have that gave us Christianity, that put Christianity the way we see it now. I didn't stutter. He said, I said what I said. He literally boiled his wife alive. Now there are speculations that this man boiled his wife alive because there was a rumor. He probably caught his son and his wife having sex. Some maiden or somebody pimped them off. Anyway, his wife was not the mother of his son. And for some apparent reason, this queen, she wasn't the mother of the son. I think they're around the same age. And there's speculation that he caught them cheating. There isn't that. This is allegedly, okay? And he executed the son, but he did worse. He boiled the wife alive, meaning she was boiled alive. Could you imagine being cooked alive? Could you imagine that? Could you imagine the screaming and then you just hear, that's what happened. That's probably the only man that y'all heard of. There are three other men who were responsible for the Bible we got. Okay? And the other persons are a man named Tertullian. Never heard of it, I'm sure. You've never heard of Tertullian. You probably never heard of the name Damasus. I didn't say Damascus. Damasus. Pope Damasus, also known as Saint Damasus. Never heard of him. You can Google him, go right ahead. And the third person is the one who actually wrote the Bible, transcribed it from one religion, one language to the next. And that person is Jerome. That's right, Jerome of Rome. So there's Emperor Constantine, Tertullian, and Jerome and Pope Damasus. Okay? Now, Pope Damasus, he came into power with bodies. Okay? It is rumored, speculated, also insinuated, and also stated by historians that Damascus hired a angry mob. Okay, he hired an angry mob, and this angry mob, sorry, and this angry mob killed the opposing pope. Now there was an election going on for the papal seat, meaning the pope seat. All right. So there was a guy called Eusebius. There's a guy called Damasus. Now Damasus hired a mob to come in the church. Okay. And they killed 137 persons. They killed priests, pastors, followers, you name it, in the church. I'm not going to say the church name. That information is on the documentary I'm writing, that I'm creating actually. It's a 30-minute documentary. It isn't long. So this right here, he hired a mob. 137 of Eusebius's followers, priests that backed him up were dead in the church. So he became the Pope. Now we're going to get to the other names. Now before there was Emperor Constantine or Constantine the Great, they call him, there was Tertullian. And Tertullian was basically, in that time of the day, was like a Hitler. He was very, very a tyrant. And he personally hated the Jews. Yep. He didn't just hate Jews, he also hated women. He was a misogynist. Not only was he a misogynist, but he also, at the time, joined a heathen group that was basically gay. He was busting open backsides. All right? He was broke back mountaining. Okay? He was the Diddy of the ancient times. All right? That's right. He just did what he did. His name is Tertullian. That's T-E-R, right? T-U-L-L-I-A-N. Tertullian. All right, now, they say he was hard-nosed, and he did what he did. Okay? He influenced Emperor Constantine. Also, he influenced Damasus. Not only that, he also influenced the man who wrote the Bible, okay, which was Jerome. Now, I gave you some dirt on Constantine. I gave you some dirt on Tertullian. I gave you some dirt on Damasus. No, I didn't give you all the dirt on Damasus. We're gonna get back to Pope Damasus. Jerome was a scholar. And he studied Hebrew, he had Greek, he spoke quite a amount of good languages, and he was very much a transcriber. He took it on his own to transcribe the Bible into different, religions. Into different languages. Okay? Queen the Empress, how you doing? So he took it upon himself to do that. Aunt Marie. So anyway, that's what he did. That's what he did. Now, Jerome had what y'all in modern time women would call an incubus. A succubus. That's right. Damasus hired Jerome to rewrite the Bible. Okay? The Bible y'all got was written by one man. Don't let them fool you. There was some other stuff. When I say rewritten, he was rewritten. It wasn't, those books were written by different people. Now they told us that Moses wrote Septuagint, right? He wrote the Torah, which is the first five books of the Bible. That's an absolute lie. Because how can a man in the first five books of the Bible, who they say wrote it, write about his own death? Yeah, we gotta be smart about this. They fooled y'all. They lied to y'all. Okay? They've been lying to y'all about this. They lied to you about this. Anyway, so Jerome was, again, I can say it before I don't want to get flagged by YouTube, was effing all the priests and the members' wives. Yes, he was kidding all of them. He was just like, hey, dick here. Hey, you, dick, dick, you want to learn? Dick, dick, dick. All right? Sunshine Oracle, yes, I'm still accepting. All right? And you can message me on TikTok. It's Astro Einstein on TikTok, okay? Astro Einstein on TikTok. All right? So all you got to do is just send me a message. It's a request, and I'm going to get to you. You're going to be the first person I do the reading for. And I'm going to just explain this. So Jerome was having sex with everybody. Now, the church was in an uproar, but because Pope Damasus hired this man to do this, and it was years, it was a span of 10 to 12 years, he was rewriting the Bible. This is documented history, y'all. This isn't something I'm making up. This isn't something I'm making up. This is documented history. This is documented history. Anyway, so he was having sex with most of the people's and wives. Right. Jumping the fence. He was having sex with, so the Pope Damasus was protecting him. But 10 years after the job was done, 2 years after the job was done of rewriting the Bible, Pope Damasus died. And guess what? Homeboy was still having sex with the members of the church wives. Man, they got tired of him and they expelled him from the church. So now we got 4 men who are responsible for the Bible that we read today. That's Tertullian. Then it was Constantine, or Emperor Constantine, or also known as Constantine the Great. Then there was Damasus. Then there's Jerome. These 4 persons. 1, Tertullian, a straight up tyrant, misogynist, very much a modern day Hitler. 2, Constantine, a murderer, a killer, a heathen, a pagan. He fused paganism with Christianity. Then you have Damasus. Oh, I didn't tell you the rest about Damasus. So the Pope also, this Pope had a concubine. This Pope had a concubine that he had a child with. That's right. The Pope was slinging some D's. He was slinging some C's and some D's. As a matter of fact, he was in love with his concubine. But a woman came around that was more advantageous for him to marry. So he married that other woman and had his concubine with his son, because the concubine had a child for him, a son. I'm making this up. I'm telling you facts. So now we got a Tertullian, the heathen, the Brokeback Mountain originator, the backside breaking mountain guy, the one who wanted to kill all Jews and didn't like it. Also, three, you have Constantine, who boiled his wife alive, was a pagan, fused Christianity with paganism. All right. Then you have the infamous, the Pope, Pope Damasus. He was a D-slinger. He also was a murderer. He hired people to murder people so he could win the seat of power. And then you have Jerome, the ultimate coxswain. All right, the gigolo from Miss Gigolo. Okay, he wrote the Bible. These four men are the reason why you been catching out. If you've been following me, if you understand, if you've really been following me, then you have strong ties in the history in the past to religion. Now you know. All right. All right. Now you know these men. Do you research? They're all tied to each other in some way, form, or fashion. One inspired the other, that inspired the other, that inspired the other to do a job. And in those, astrology, the stargazers, were making the priests and the pastors look bad. They were making them look bad. And when I say bad, I mean terrible. Okay? Making them look like they were nobody, nothing. Making them look like they were stupid. Okay? All right? And they rewrote this Bible, especially in Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 10 and 12. They mentioned, they said, this is verse 10, let not one be found among you who sacrifices their son or daughter in the fire, who practices divination or sorcery, interprets omens, that means dreams, engages in witchcraft, or casts spells, or who is a medium or spiritualist, or who consults the dead. Anyone who does these things is detestable to the Lord. Because of these same detestable practices, the Lord your God will drive out those nations before you. Now, when they say divinations or sorcery, interpret omens, they don't just mean dreams. They also meant astrology. Okay? They also looped into that astrology. All right? And that's the wild part about it. Not only that, you know, that's just that's just the tip of the iceberg, y'all. All right? That's just the tip of the iceberg. There's also the understanding of why we even have those books. Okay? All right? There are people who were like against astrology to the core. Those are only some. You also have hypothalamus. You have Origen, all right? And he was in from 184 BC to 200, BC to 253. All right. You also had Lactantius. Also, people pronounce it Lactantius. All right. And he rejected astrology altogether. He rejected divination, frameworks of false and spiritual dangers. He basically framed them as being tied to demons and deception, and reject star divination altogether. And then you also had what we consider, there was what I would call a council. And this council, or this was the synod of Laodicea. And this was in the mid 14th century. All right. And they literally were upset that pastors and priests, I should say bishops, and priests and deacons were using astrology. And they were. They were using astrology to help the people in their church. That's right. Astrology was a part of the church in secret. But the council, all right, the synod of Laodicea, stopped that. All right? Like, even if many church leaders condemned astrology, the canon, also known as the Canon 36, shows church authorities felt the need to prohibit among the clergy explicitly because the clergy, the priests, the pastors, used astrology. Now, when I studied and took up a theology, I understood this. This was something that I was taught. How the clergy then were using astrology. Why I got into it even more so. All right. Now, if you want to check it out, it's called a New Advent, or you could call it, also Canon 36. All right. And then you have St. Augustine or St. Augustine. All right. His position was very, very strongly. He attacked astrology. And what he used to attack astrology befalls me up to this day, even when I started it. But we have, now when he did that, the astrologers who were around him, he spoke this really not to real astrologers. All right? Because if he spoke and understood astrology, he would understand his argument. His argument was that twins, if astrology is so accurate, why do twins who are born under the same stars have different faiths? All right? Now, if he understood astrology, he would know that even though there are twins and they were born minutes apart, seconds even makes a difference. There's something called deacons and duads, where those fast-moving planets actually switch from one duad. He didn't understand that even the ascendant, that's right, moves if there are minutes of separation. And that's according to what rising signs there is, how fast or slow it moves. They didn't understand this. But they still had this to speak to their congregation who knew nothing about astrology. Dismissed it altogether. All right? Okay? Now, there are also other people. There are other persons who spoke loudly against it. But most of them who spoke loudly against it weren't astrologers. They were critics of astrology. Right? Tertullian basically said, you cannot be both a Christian and an astrologer, an idolatry. Now, Tertullian, he himself, also went into being a heathen. Right? Hippolytus goes after horoscopes and fatalism and to refute and to speak about astrology as all heresies. They were all heretics. Origen, I think his last name was, anyway, Origin, so that's where the word origin comes from, all right? The origin of, it came from him. Argues that astral or astrological determination or determinism destroys prayer and moral responsibility. All right, and he did this in the Contra Celsa. This is also a sort of a council. All right, so by that time, the Council of Laodicea makes it explicit that clergy, priests, bishops, and deacons alike were exclusively not allowed to be astrologers. And then St. Augustine, or St. Augustine, later sealed the deal with his twin argument in the City of God. Now, he wrote a book called The City of God. Now, most people don't know these stuff. I'm putting y'all on game. All right? All right, so this is something that you guys probably didn't know, but I'm here to inform you, to teach you, to have you to understand exactly what's going on. They don't teach you this, they don't give you this information, but you're here today. And because I've had this argument debated on radio stations in the Bahamas, and I had priests and pastors come along and had debates with me live, and I won arguments every single time. I just have not done it before in a long time because, to me, I felt as if everybody knew this. This was common knowledge. And after you know something, sometimes you sort of fool yourself into thinking that everybody knows this as well. When that's not the case. It's not. And I'm here with this documentary giving you information about these people. Okay, I only focus on 4. I'm going to have part 2 where I speak about St. Augustine, Hippolytus, all right, Origen. I'm going to speak about these things. Now, there are documentations about these people. You can actually go and research and watch videos on these people. However, I'm going to put it all together on how we as human beings had to go into. And I also speak in a documentary about the Grand Inquisition, the Spanish Inquisition and the Grand Inquisition. How, herbalists and what they considered witches were burned to the ground. Now, they tried to whitewash the amount of people that were killed, but they tried to whitewash it. They believe it was 300,000, and they later said it was about 30,000, and it's only about 1% of those persons were actually executed. It's a lie. And we have documentation of that. So they tried to whitewash and tell you that they want to make you to forget about the Inquisition, as if they didn't just burn people alive because they didn't confess Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. No, we ain't gonna forget, like how we didn't forget slavery. We're not gonna forget and forgive the church for doing that. Because now we get the Epstein files, allegedly, that is tying to Jews and not wanting other people to not be Jews who are in their little circles. Like, we're not gonna pretend. We're not gonna pretend as if these things don't happen. And I know that Jews actually run these social medias. But like I was saying, all right, in the documentary, I, with a very discreet way, inform you without touching on the algorithm of what is allowed and not allowed. So I'm going to be talking very diplomatic on that video because I don't want to be flagged. I want more people to see the video. So just know that I'm going to be talking very, very proper. But you know what I'm talking about, y'all who are with me. You know. So we ain't got that to worry about. Okay? Anyway, that's basically the gist of it. Okay? What was said is to attest to that. My twins are 5 minutes apart and have different degrees in their MC and AC. Just from the basic natal chart, no doubt that deacons and duas have different degrees and placement. Right. So once people understand the duas and the deacons, that argument. So I want to put St. Augustine in front of me. he needed some. They needed somebody like me, so I could talk this. I could talk my shit with them. You see, so I could talk my shit with them. What happened is showing me glittering. Okay, so I have somebody to do the reading for. I think somebody sent. I want you to send me a message on TikTok. For those who want me to do a reading for you, you know, this is what we're here for. All right, I see the message request. All right, Sunshine Oracle. Thank you. I'm gonna put your birth stuff into the chart. Only me will be able to see it. I'm gonna fix the video so that only me sees it. See the name. All right. Also, write your name there as well. Okay. I need. Okay. You guys. What am I? So I need. You say time unknown. Jesus, good. What does it go with my mother? She's. Oh. So I need your chart. Okay. So let me send this inside here. I need your chart. So I'm messaging you on TikTok right now. So I need you to message me on TikTok so that I can actually get to that. And for those of you, if you're not following me on TikTok, it's Astro Einstein. The same thing it is on Facebook. I mean, the same thing it was on Facebook, the same thing it is on YouTube. It's the same thing. All right? All right? So let's go. I'm going to put in your information and we're going to take a look at that. So here we go. Okay. And I already see what you said. I'm going to tell you now. All right? I'm going to take you now. If your mom was a Scorpio, then your mom is a transformer. All right? Your mom is a transformer. What I mean by that is most Scorpio, they sort of, they help to rid toxins out of people. All right? They're not the toxin themselves, they are the system that help to remove toxins or things that your soul may need to release. Okay? Just so you can know. So Scorpios are not really, shit. They may be full of shit sometimes, but they're not S-H-I-T. S-H-I-T, no. All right. All right, so let me pull this chart up so you can be able to see. So you weren't there back then. I was doing other things. I was doing other things at that time. Okay. All right, I was doing other things in Southeast Asia, establishing other stuff. Okay, and that's when they ran amok. Well, the majority of my consciousness, I should say, it needed to be someplace else. Let's go. I'm going to. All right, give me a second. I'm gonna let me size me up, and I'm going to yeah. Let's go. All right. So this is your chart. Okay, good. This is your chart, and I think your question is the first question is, what's next for me generally? Okay, that's a perfect question. I love it. The second question is, what karmic debt with my mother? What's the common debt with my mom? Karmic debt with my mom. She is a Scorpio sun, born 24th of October 1959, time unknown, Memphis, Tennessee. Third question, I'm currently going through a divorce. How do you see this turning out? Will I be able to get a stable and overcome health issues and find love? I also keep hearing my ex will try to come back. I feel he left me at my lowest and plotted to keep me out the house and started dating someone else. What? I feel he already was talking to. Thanks for your help, Astro. Damn. I I just want to say thank you for being very transparent with us. That's something, that's serious. I don't even know what to say. But let's start with the first one. All right, I'm gonna progress your chart. So I'm gonna take a look at exactly what you're going through now. Not your natal chart, look at your progress chart. Because that's what shows us what's happening now. All right. Now I'm gonna use some stuff in this chart that you probably never heard of, or anybody's watching. You probably, if you're my student, if you follow me on TikTok, then you know I speak about. And if you've been following my videos on YouTube, you notice I've been talking a lot about midpoints. Well, I'm gonna give you I have to give you, because these are just three questions. My first one's a very vague question. What is next for me generally? But I'm gonna do my best to give you what's next, because there's a lot of next. Next is a long, long thing. All right. And I'm gonna give you the best one that I see. That's next. Okay. All right. Let me have my midpoints. All right, there you go. Now I added my midpoints. I'm gonna get into this deeper. 21 degrees. Sun Moon midpoint in your progressed chart is in Leo, and it's actually coming very, very close to being conjunct your Juno. All right. And I hear you say you're going through a divorce. Totally understood. And you said you want to know, how do I see it turning out? Okay, so let me change these. Let me take these out. I'm just going to put the meaty stuff. And I'm going to use the ruler of your seventh house and Uranus, because Uranus also represents change, separation, indifference. Okay? Okay. I can also use Juno and Uranus, which normally represents a separation. So I'm going to use both. I'm going to use Mars Uranus. I'm going to use Mars Uranus and Juno Uranus. So let me take all these midpoints off again. Remove all. Let's go with Mars Uranus. Let me add that. And I'm also going to use Uranus, Juno, Uranus. Oh shit. Anyway, Juno, Uranus. Or I should say Uranus, Juno. Uranus, Juno. All right. All right, so we're going to take a look at the ruler of your seventh house, which is Mars. So the seventh house also rules partnership and also rules separation of partnerships. Now, midpoints have become a very strong thing inside my readings. And I take a look at both of them to see how one would, suffice for the next. And I noticed that if you look here, your Mars, which is a ruler of your seventh house, is conjunct Uranus, which normally is an indication when the ruler of the seventh house is conjunct Uranus, that normally spells about divorce. Okay? You also have Mars, Uranus, midpoint, conjunct Mars. And that means that it's going to be a fight. In Sagittarius, we're going to get into that. We're going to see what's degree. And then we also have the other indication of a divorce, which is Uranus, Juno. And as you can see, your Uranus, Juno is in 16 degrees, and so is your progressed ascendant, which normally indicates that you're going through a divorce right now. Okay? Now, in order for me to know how that divorce is going to go, I'm going to take a look at the deacon and the duad it's sitting in. Well, we're going to focus on the duad for now. Now, this deacon, the deacon it's sitting in, is ruled by Uranus. So that means Uranus is, because that's the second duad, the second deacon is Uranus, and Uranus is in Sagittarius in the third house. That's telling me that divorce is definitely there. And then you have Juno, Uranus, inside the 16 degree 35 minutes. Now 16 degree 35 minutes in Libra, the duad is sitting in. And I'm gonna break this down for you so you can understand what I'm saying. 60 is in the duad of Aries. All right, which means that Aries sort of runs your situation with the divorce. Okay, it runs the situation with the divorce. And Aries is not a really, especially with the fact that your Mars is in the third house in Sagittarius. I mean, in the second duad, Sagittarius, which is next to Sagittarius, Capricorn. I would say, and Capricorn is sitting. Where's Capricorn? Capricorn is sitting in your fourth house. There's going to be issue when it comes to the home and real estate. Anything dealing with land, real estate, home, children, anything of that nature is going to come up. It's going to be very, very strong because Capricorn is actually in the fourth house. It's going to be a little battle. Very. Also, there's going to be some lies told. Whenever Mars is conjunct Uranus and is the ruler of your seventh house, it goes against the grain. Sagittarius is about truth. That means it's going to be about lies and manipulation. There's going to be some lies told in the divorce. Okay? It's going to be told on you. That's what I see there. For the simple fact that it's sitting in Aries, this duad, it's going to be a real strong battle for you. This is going to be a real strong battle for you, sugar. However, because Mars is ruled by Aries, Mars rules Aries, and and your Mars is in Sagittarius, there's a little bit of luck of the government on your side. Because Jupiter, which is the ruler of Sagittarius, is sitting on Capricorn in the second duad, Aquarius. So there's going to be some sort of somebody who's going to come. So that, when I say that when it comes to your divorce, it's going to be a little messy, but only in the terms of being lied upon, and also when it comes to any kind of estate that's connected to you both. All right. Okay, so that's what I see there for sure. You said, is this whole sign? Yes, I only read whole sign. I stopped at Placidus a long time ago. A whole long time ago. And you said he is a Sagittarius? That's even connected. You know, the Mars, the battles, I'm sure he is. But as you can see, your midpoint of Juno Uranus is conjunct your ascendant. That's no coincidence. And it's conjunct exactly. That's definitely not a coincidence. Astrology, once you understand these things, can pinpoint certain things. Now, so that's what you're gonna be happening inside in your stuff. So I gotta, let me add to this. Give me a second. All right. Let me add to this. My cash app, Astro. So y'all can use my cash app if you want to. All right, so it's right there. Let me move it over so you can see it. You can still see the chart. I'm gonna put this in the corner here. Make it a little smaller. All right, there you go. Okay, excellent. All right, so yes, your chart basically shows it's gonna be a little bit messy, okay? It's not gonna be sweet right now. Your second question, which is really your first question about your mom. Then I'm gonna ask the general one. Answer the general one. Well, karmic debt with my mother, she's a Scorpio. So let's take a look in your chart to see, in your natal chart, the karmic debt you may have with your mom. And in order for me to take a look at that, we use two things, your mom and karma. So we're gonna take a look at two placements. One is the moon, which represents the mom, and Saturn, and the moon and Pluto. And we're going to take a look and see in your natal chart. No, I should progress. Let me look at your natal chart. What kind of karmic debt you may have with your mom. It's very simple to say. Now, if you can see, if you don't see this right here, your moon Pluto midpoint is in Sagittarius in the 4th, and your moon Saturn midpoint is in Sagittarius in the 4th house. Now this duad is 19 degrees in Sagittarius, 19 degrees is in the duad of Cancer. I'm going to break that down for you in a minute. And 24 degrees is in the duad of Virgo. So two things as it pertains to your mom's karmic debt to you. If we really put those two together, the karmic debt with you and your mother has to do with previous lifetime teachings, meaning philosophy, spirituality, religion, that you may have enforced on her in previous lifetimes, and has to do with anything dealing with your belief system, your philosophy, and the way you go about life, and the way you rule and manage your home. All right? And also, with the moon Saturn, your mom could be super critical of how you run your household when it comes to work, service, or anything of that nature. She could also be super critical about how you handle your home, how you handle your family. Okay? These are the karmic debts that you have with your mother. And this is from previous lifetimes because you were on the opposite end. Okay? You were the one that did the same thing to her in previous lifetimes. The karmic debt that you have to handle her, and to deal with her, is to allow her the freedom to express her emotions. And I say that because it's sitting, the moon Pluto duad is sitting in the duad of Cancer, which represents emotions, and it's in Sagittarius that represents freedom. And that means that you have to allow your mother the freedom to express her emotions for what she feels is right when it comes to the extension of our family, which is you and your children, and anything, if you do have children, or what's going on in your home, or anyway, or where you handle your family. You have to allow her the freedom to express what her emotions are going through. And then with the Saturn, Moon, Pluto, placement in the fourth house of Sagittarius in Virgo, you also have to allow her the freedom to criticize without feeling like, and I don't know if your mom is still alive or she's deceased, if she's here or there, but that was the karmic debt that you have or had with your mom. Okay? That's what I see there. Generally speaking, what you have in the future, take a look at your progressed again, and I'm going to use Mars Juno when it comes to long-term relationship to see what's going on. And let's take a look at what's your future. You talk about your ex coming back, and as you can see, your Mars Juno midpoint, which is the midpoint that rules your marriage or long-term commitment, is 13 degrees 49 minutes, and actually almost conjunct your ascendant. It's got a little while, but it's going to be conjunct pretty soon. Okay? It's going to be conjunct pretty soon. So that drags Juno, which is in Leo, and Mars, which is in Sagittarius, in the third. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be like your ex, him, trying to come down. But it's going to be somebody from social media who is from a different country, different culture. You're going to be with somebody who is not necessarily from the same race as you. And this guy is coming. Let me see what duad is sitting in. It's sitting in the duad, that's 13 degrees, 49 minutes. That would be in the sixth duad, 6 signs away from that, is Pisces. So this person may be dreamy, may come with emotions, may come with also the ability to, it may be too good to be true, basically. But this person is coming with a little bit of lies himself. They're not necessarily forthright. Okay? All right. So that's what I see. I see that's one thing I see. And I also see one more thing I saw also as well that strike me very, very strongly is Saturn being in your second house, in your progress in Pisces. And that normally is sort of an indicator that, in Scorpio, not in Pisces, in Scorpio. And that's normally an indicator that one of your fears right now is not being able to pay your bills. And I can assure you that if you use the scorpionic energy and be all or nothing, I'm talking about going all in, obsessed with doing what you do, with your ability to read and so and so, it's going to take away. You got to really release the fear of not having enough. Okay? You got to release that fear of not having enough when it comes to, sorry, when it comes to that. All right? You got to release that fear. Because I see that once you do that, your business will bloom. You really got to release the fear. All right, can you guys hear me? I want to make sure that you guys can hear me. We say she's still alive and well? Okay. All right. Well, according to, that's what I see. That's what the karmic debt is between y'all three. I mean, between you and your mom. And that's basically anything I'm going through. You say, how do you see things turning out? I think I answered that. So I want to thank you for choosing me. You say you currently live together. Oh, okay. So what does she do? Is what's the problem? What's wrong with her? Like what? Why are you asking that question? So tell me, because I want to know. I want a little nosy. Once you tell me, I could be able to follow with what's going on. You probably currently live together. Okay. I like how that sounds. Angela Frazani. Okay. As you can see, I'm doing 3 questions for 20. That's my cash out. Or you care to bless me with something, I can make sure I reach you. That's my cash out. You know how to do it. So tell us a little bit about what's going on with you and your mom. You know, we want to know. We definitely want to know. So, what's the problem with her living with you? Okay, I see you. I see you, Frazani. I see the date of birth. Okay. All right, Frazani. I got you. Let me pull up your stuff. While I'm being nosy with Sunshine Oracle, I guess Sunshine Oracle don't want to share that with me. I understand. If you don't want to. All right. Now, Frazani, Frazini, you can correspond with me on TikTok. If you have TikTok, it's Astro Einstein as well. All right? Okay, so. All right, almost done with getting your information. All right, all right. Now, Angela, got you. You said you want career, marriage, and gifts. Great questions, okay? I got you. I got you. So let me take a look. Career, marriage, and gifts. So this is a conversation that I'm gonna have with you. It isn't just me doing a reading. We also have to have a conversation. Are you married right now? It'll take me a little bit for me to go through your chart to figure out if you're married now. I don't think that people watching want to go through that understanding. So just for your curiosity, are you married now or you're not married now? Oh, you say she. Oh, so that's what that Cancer duad is about. Just have a nice attitude. Okay, thank you, Sunshine Oracle. So you've never been married, Angela. Okay, no problem. Are you in a relationship now? Because if you're in a relationship now, I'm gonna be able to tell you if that guy that you're with now is that particular person. Okay. So love life. Let's take a look at love life. Now I'm gonna release these midpoints. Remove them from here. And I'm going to use other midpoints. It's love life is the first thing. We're going to take a look at so I want you to know that love life and sex life are two different things. Okay? If they didn't tell you that, I want to be the one to tell you. All right? So I'm going to take a look. I'm going to take a look at the ruler of your fifth house. Since you are Aquarius rising, that means you have Gemini on your fifth. And the fifth house is Gemini. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. And so we're going to use Mercury and the Sun. We're also going to use Mercury and Venus. So let's go with Mercury. And then the Sun and Mercury. And then we're going to use Sun and Venus. And then we're going to use Mercury and Venus. All right? And let's take a look at what's going on in your love life. All right, so this is the ruler of what you enjoy inside. Oh, what I didn't progress your chart, sorry. So let me progress your chart so you can take a look at what's going on right now. So all of your midpoints that have to do with like relationships, well, this is in your, let me take a look at your now. So give me a second. I gotta change that now. I gotta change it to Vesta. So give me a second, let me change that. That's Sun and Vesta. Sun and Vesta. Then you have Vesta and Venus. And then you have what else? Oh, Sun and Venus. And Vesta and Pluto. So we can look at Pluto and Vesta, which is the ruler of your seventh house and ruler of your fifth house together. See, midpoints is where all the action happens, by the way. And they don't really tell you about that. They don't tell you that this is where the action happens. This is what's going on. They don't tell you any of that. Right? So, that right there. Now I know based upon this that one of the things that you like talking about is spirituality. And not just spirituality, deep spirituality. Things like past life regressions, astrology, human design, because your Venus Mercury midpoint is in Sagittarius in the third degree. But more so because it's in the duad of Capricorn. And Capricorn is your ninth house. You like it in a sort of structured way. So I understand. And most of your conversations would be around that. And if that person doesn't necessarily have the ability to have deep conversations, you are not partaking in it. That's just what it is at this point in time. And as you can see, your Venus Mercury midpoint is actually conjunct Saturn, which means there's a sort of restraint towards doing it. So you limit yourself towards talking about these deep things when you should just allow yourself, just be. Now, this right here is basically the ruler between your fifth house and your seventh house, and it's sitting in Sagittarius, 16 degrees. That means that your duad is in Gemini, and Gemini is on your second house. Any male energy, if you're dating males, if you're heterosexual, is going to come with a bit of healing for you, and also a little bit of sexuality. If there's a guy in your life, I'm letting you know now, he may not be the most faithful right now. Dark Moon Lilith is actually sitting in Gemini. All right, and anything that's dealing with Gemini, whatever's in his house, affects this placement right here. So that means that there's some sort of Gemini, Dark Moon Lilith Gemini means there's some lies being told if you are in a relationship. Okay? So you just found me yesterday? That's pretty cool. That's excellent. So it shows that if you are in a relationship, Angela, that if you do happen to run into somebody right now, and if this person is going to be somebody who's going to be in your life for a very long time, this person is coming with a little bit of stuff behind them. Okay? Now there are two individuals, because Gemini comes with twos if you do decide on being with more than one person, or if you just want to choose between a person. Gemini, because it's sitting in the duad Gemini, this comes with more than one person. Now your your Venus Vesta, which is the ruler of your fifth house. If people didn't tell you, Vesta actually rules Virgo, not Mercury. And your Vesta Venus midpoint is in 22 degrees 15 minutes. Now in Sagittarius, what that means is that this is sitting in the duad of Virgo. And normally that could represent meeting people through your work, because it's sitting in the Virgo duad. This is the Virgo duad, by the way, 22 degrees, 16 minutes. This is sitting in the Virgo duad. And that means that you yourself may meet somebody that could be long-term through work or through a service that you provide, all right, or through a service that's provided to you. You're going to meet somebody that's going to be sort of a romantic feeling. Now the Sun Vesta tells me about where this shine, or where this romantic relationship may be get more romantic. And this is 27 degrees 7 minutes in the sign of Sagittarius. And that's the duad of, that's 27 minutes. Am I making this right? 1 second. 7 minutes. And the 7 minutes puts that in the duad of, let me see, Libra. So there's somebody you're talking to, all right? Then this person also, who you're going to meet through this service, if you're not with them now, this person can basically try to sweep you off your feet, be romantic, be somebody who's very, very sociable, and also very deep, because Sagittarius is on your 8th house, So this is somebody who's very deep, very esoteric, very spiritual to some degree that could come into your life. And because it's in Sagittarius, be open up to the possibility this person may be able to teach you, inform you, or this person may be of a different ethnic background as you. So try to be open towards that. Okay? The next thing you talked about, you said, which is career. Career-wise. Career-wise right now, if we look at your natal chart first, what you're supposed to be doing, your MC is in Sagittarius. That's 11 degrees, 20 minutes. 11 degrees, 20 minutes in Sagittarius would give us the duad of 11 degrees, 20 minutes. I think that's Aries. And Aries is in your natal chart, Aries is on your third house. So that has to do with speaking, communication, giving information, direct, straightforward, especially when Aries is ruled by Mars and your Mars is in Libra in the ninth house. Career-wise, with your MC being 11th house, you're supposed to be on social media. You're supposed to be in connection with the people, some degree, some institution or organization that's interested in a bigger mass as opposed to just yourself. And because Mars is the ruler of Aries and it's in the ninth house in Libra in the first duad, I would say that this has to do anything that's has to do something with balancing, keeping connection, social, anything that artistic, anything that's Libra in nature. And also dealing with a lot of people. I don't know what you do for a living, but basically whenever the MC is sitting in Sagittarius and Jupiter's there in Aquarius, your job is supposed to be you. You're the job. You're supposed to be putting yourself on social media and expressing yourself. You see, you are a real estate agent talking to a Leo. Okay. Real estate. Okay. Do you love the real estate? A real estate agent. Oh wow, South Node. So every person that's in your life, also, every person that's in your life is actually from a previous lifetime. Because I see Juno is conjunct your South Node. That means that every person that you come into contact with a long-term relationship is also a previous lifetime partner that you may not have resolved with. You say you kind of like it? You kind of? Okay. Okay, kind of. I'm telling you what you're supposed to be doing. And I'm never really wrong with this sort of thing. You may do real estate to keep bringing the money. However, you're supposed to be known as a philosopher, as a spiritualist, as somebody who goes up and sort of like a gospel sort of thing, basically. All right, you're not really, you're in a profession, but it's not really a calling. Like, I don't see it in this chart. Never really wrong with this other thing. All right, you're really wrong with this. All right, Taurus. So, as it pertains to career-wise, looking at this, you're supposed to be doing something with presenting yourself. Because Jupiter, which is a ruler of your MC, is actually also in Aquarius, in the first house, and in the duad of Taurus. And Taurus is sitting on your fourth home. You're supposed to be working from home. You're supposed to be presenting yourself as a teacher, as a philosopher. Also, whilst you are handling business with your career. Basically, you need to put yourself more out there. Like, more so. I don't know where on social media you are or what you do, but you're supposed to be doing that. Your last question is about, what's it? Um, so that Leo that you're talking about, the Leo energy, yeah, you're talking to Leo, but there's some secrets. Okay, you probably won't find out about those secrets right now, because the universe have you to experience the love then without any judgment, so that you can get locked in. All right. So your gifts. So first and foremost, you have the gift of magnetism. With Jupiter in Aquarius, you're able to magnetize, to connect people. You have the gift of connection. Connecting this person to another person, you are the go-to. All right? You are the connector. If it's somebody who knows somebody, that's your gift. Okay? Even if you don't really blend or be with those people, you have the capability of connecting people. Jupiter in Aquarius is a connector of people. All right? That's one of your gifts, first and foremost. The next one, you have the gift of dreams, psychic intuition, and also telepathy. You have Neptune sitting in your 12th house. And that's normally a clear indication to me, somebody who has the gift of dreams, the gift of intuition, psychic ability, and also just the knack of empathizing and the gift of empathy. Your moon is in Gemini, sitting in the first decan, and duad in Gemini. You have the gift of gab. You can talk. You could sub water to a well sugar. That's one of your gifts. And you have the ability to talk very dramatically and very charismatic as well. So you have charisma and the gift of gab. That's another gift that you have. You also have the gift of healing with your hands. You have Chiron sitting inside Gemini, especially children. And you say you're presently talking to Leo. Leo is sitting on your 7th house of long-term relationship and commitments. If his degree is close to your descendant, then this may be the husband that you're going to be locked into. Another thing is you have the gift of healing people through sex. Healing people or being of service and healing people through sex. You also have the gift of diplomacy. You're able to negotiate and renegotiate between people, be able to see both sides. You also have the gift of debate. You have the gift of diplomacy and also beauty and fashion. You have Venus sitting inside Libra, so is Mars, which means you have the gift of styling and interior decorating and also styling physical. You also have the gift of doing anything that comes to beauty and fashion is also a gift. You have the gift of, because you're a Scorpio sun, and you have Pluto conjunct Scorpio, you have the gift of discernment, being able to know when somebody is not really a great person. You also have the gift of reading between the lines. All right? You're able to know when somebody's lying to you without even knowing. You'll be able to know when somebody's bullshitting you without them telling you that they're bullshitting you. You have the gift of going deep. All right? And that's the ability to just reserve yourself in connection with communication, meaning you have the gift of knowing when to talk, even though you have the gift of gab as well. So you have the gift of gab, but basically don't like to talk to a lot of people, but also have connections with people. It's a very fine line for the gifts that you have, okay? All right, but those are some of the main gifts that you have. Okay. Pretty fly. Thank you. Let me see. I'm gonna take a look right now to see if I got your Cash App. What name did you use? Pretty Fly 34, so I can know. Are you Elaine? Oh, you like to take my class? Okay. In the next, my class is coming up to its closing end. Um, they'll be taking their finals. After their finals, then it's then they're getting into this. All right. So Pretty Fly, pretty at Pretty Fly 34. Let me type so you can see. If you're watching Pretty Fly, I don't know what is your cash out. If it's a lane, then you could send me your information on TikTok. All right. Let me see if that's you. Okay, so all right, Elaine, I got you. Okay, so also Elaine, I need. So Elaine, let's do this. All right, because I can't do that right now for you. Because since you don't have your time of birth, what I need to do is a rectification. Now, but because you've been so like on the point, is like, you know what, I'm not gonna. I normally charge $85 for me to rectify your time of birth. But for you, we could do this offline, and I can answer your questions offline on a Zoom call, because I will have to rectify your time of birth on the Zoom call. Okay? So since you already sent me uh, 20, $65 more, and I would set up a, a a time that we can actually go over, and I'm going to be able to tell you the time of day that you were born. This is priceless, because this could help you out with future readings and being able to know what's going on. So if you're interested in that, let me know. And anybody that actually have a person that you know need to know their time of birth, I rectify time of birth for $85 because it's a process. If you're interested in that, let me know. All right, I'm gonna send this voice note also to you. So Elaine, I don't know if you're listening to my YouTube, but because I don't know your time of birth, I'm not able to do the reading for the $20. However, I can rectify your time of birth. And since you already said $20, I normally charge $85. You could send the additional $65, and I will also do your reading in private and also give you your time of birth. All right? All right. So if you're interested in that, Elaine, I just sent you a message. All right. And my class, we have a 3-month break, me and my facilitators. Okay. As you can see, my admin is right here. It's Keisha. She's more than my admin. All right. Just so y'all can know. All right. That's the person who you got to come through to me. Anyway. Yes. So if you're interested, you can message me and what have you. So that's Elaine and so and so. Astrology has been a stable point because I'm able to gain access and information and stuff that most people won't be able to. When I get into doing regressions, I have, if you don't know this as well, I'm also going to be doing a trip to Costa Rica, business-wise, to be doing some regressions there. If you're interested, that's a little much more closer than the Bahamas, I think. I'm not sure. I think so. I'm going to be doing some regressions there whilst I'm there. Okay? And that's going to be soon. So you will still be able to see some regressions that's going to be on YouTube. So if you've been rocking with me, if you're in the membership class, you're going to have exclusive view to these regressions. All right? Exclusive view to regressions, which means that what I'm going to do, I'm going to record these regressions, and some of you are only going to see. They're not going to be live. They're going to be recorded. For those who are in the membership, you are going to watch this live. So the lives are going to be for members only. I'm gonna let you guys know when that's gonna happen. All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, any questions about uh, spirituality? Because I was having a question. I was being questioned about like spirituality, and as you know, that's my area of expertise. That's my area of expertise. I've been in this field for quite some time. I was asked about oh yeah, so Pretty Fly 34. I know you messaged me on TikTok. So make sure that you do that transaction. Send me a screenshot of what you've done, or I'm probably gonna get the information, and I'm going to try to type me your email, so I can email you the Zoom, Pretty Fly 34, so I could email you the Zoom so that we could get along and do the rectification of your time of birth. From this point on, from that point on, after that rectification, that's it, sugar. We gonna know everything. All right, all right. I'm also going to, after the rectification, bless you with a natal chart, meaning a book of you, so you can understand you a lot more. I still offer soul reports if you guys want to know about your soul, about everything about you, as it pertains to life or what have you. If you want to order soul reports for your children or your lover, if you want to understand your partner, if you want to know any kind of synastry between you and a partner, like you, Angela Frazani, if you're interested in that, to know the dynamics of you and this person and where it's going, I offer synastry readings, meaning you get to know the dynamics of you and this person and what's the outcome if this person is going to be, you know. So if you so decide on staying with this person, you're gonna do it with a conscious mind, right? Being in control of your decisions. Let me see my top fives. All right. So we got Keisha, we got Jerry. Yeah. This is this person. Okay. All right. All right. I want to thank every one of y'all for being here with me. You know, it's not a lot of people, but most people are doing things. They're probably working, and they're gonna be like, "Oh man, I miss her live. Oh my God." All right. Okay. I was on for, I think it's going on 2 hours. That's my limit. My limit is 2 hours. I know I'm here for that. Elaine, I'm gonna continue messaging you on. Oh yeah, they don't want you to send emails through TikTok. That's crazy. But anyway, I'm gonna teach you how to do it. So when you do send me the email, you gotta remove the at, put a space in between, right? Between where they got, you know, it's at gmail.com or at yahoo.com or at AOL. Don't put the at. All right? So just put space in between the name, the .com. All right? All right. Okay. Oh. Don't. Okay. You say you're paid. All right. Dawn Night. Also, send me the information. Dawn Night on TikTok. I'm here for TikTok. Okay. So once I see your message. Once I see your message and you paid, because make sure it's right before, because it's 1 hour and 50 minutes within the next 10 minutes. If not, send me a message on TikTok. That's Astro Einstein. Now, anything off of this live is a full reading. So you gotta catch me while I'm on this live so you get this $20. A full reading with me is $100 for that 35, 40 minutes of to an hour of reading your chart, of getting it together. So this is basically a very, very good way of being able to do your reading without the large cost. All right. So let me know if you did. Let me check the cash app to make sure. All right, I want to see you land. Dawn Night. You got to make sure. We only got a couple more minutes left. Okay. All right. So 8 more minutes. Any questions that you may have for me, y'all, about spirituality? So I want to explain this so you guys can understand this particular thing. And this thing that I want to say is about consciousness. It is not absurd that there are more than one person claiming to be Moses or Jesus or Mary Magdalene or anybody that's famous, Cleopatra. It isn't. Damn, this I don't know what's going on with this. Okay, good. All right. It isn't that. Okay. Thank you, Sunshine Rock. I appreciate you. It isn't that those persons aren't. Every single one of them actually experienced it. Now, I'm going to explain to you why I said that. There's a reason why. It's because consciousness is not limited to one person. This is just like, and I did a video of this on YouTube where I talked about consciousness, how consciousness is that of like a pitcher and tall glasses, 12 of them. And if you empty out the pitcher into those 12 glasses, and those 12 glasses are filled to the brim, and then you have 12 other glasses to each one of them, and you continue pouring and pouring and pouring. And each one of those glasses experienced something. One was talking in a negative way. You know how water can absorb energy. And you spread out these glasses of water. The first tall ones and the small ones and the small ones going down until infinity. If you take all of those, pour them back into the container before them, and you empty all of that into the first pitcher, the initial pitcher, you cannot tell the difference. There's no difference between one or the other. You cannot tell which amount of water was in that very far glass away from the pitcher or away from the tall glasses that the pitcher poured into first. There's no separation. And because there's no separation with consciousness, only separation is a part-time thing, which means that once it's poured back into source, all information is available to every single one. Now, I also have a theory that we talked about how this reality is basically sort of a video game and a consciousness video game. The same thing, what I talked about pouring into the glass is that my theory is that we are in a simulated reality and that the consciousness that we experience in these bodies are like that of the water. These are just vessels to be hooked to hell. And once you've left, you return back to that container that's closest to you, that's big. It's like a resting place, a resting stop. So each one of you have a container or an oversoul that is connected to multiple consciousness or human beings. Okay. 1 second. Oh, the nether night. Okay. So Danetta, yes, I did receive it. You did not put your time of birth, date of birth, and place of birth. That is definitely very, very important. So I need you to find that for me. You need to have your date of birth, time of birth, and place of birth. Not just the date of birth. It's very, very important. All right? And I did receive it. I did. It's just the fact that you didn't give me all the information I need. I need that information. All right? So if you message me on TikTok, I'll take a look. But I don't see your message. Send me a message on TikTok because you will have to do the same thing. If you don't have your time of birth, you'll have to do the same thing that Pretty Fly 34 has to do, which is a rectification of your time of birth. Okay? And we're going to have to probably do this offline because you didn't say it and it's running up to 2 hours. The reason why I keep it at 2 hours because the quality of the video from on my end in the Bahamas, they normally shut. So I choose my times wisely. There's a data lag in the video, so I want to make sure it freaks out sometimes. You said give you a minute? Okay. All right. If you message me on TikTok, we could do this privately. All right, for sure. I got you. All right, just message me on TikTok, that information. And if you're, you said give you. Okay, all right, I'll be there. Just call my name, and I'll be there. Yep. Everybody who's been on this live with me, I appreciate you guys. You're still rocking with me. Listen, some big things are coming. As you can see, I've been consistent with these videos, creating videos, because that's what I'm doing. I'm also going to be predicting a lot of world events. You're going to be seeing a lot of that. I'm doing that very vaguely a little bit, but I'm also attaching events that are connected to those things so you can see the validity in it. And those who are and the membership amount is going down. I'm going to make sure that's really, really all the way down, so to speak. But simple fact that we have a really hard time on this earth right now financially, and it's even going to be worse because Uranus is going back into Taurus. Okay. Spirit Moon 34. Yeah, okay. God, your name is still in green. You still on that. You still be playing our membership. Spirit Moon, I appreciate you. You've been rocking with me for a long time. Okay. Oh, you say you put the information in the notes. Okay. Let me take a look. Ah, okay, I got you. I see it now. I see it now. Good job. Good job, Donate. I appreciate that. All right. So only because it's you and you like, if you was rocking with me, you was waiting. I'm gonna do this. Okay. I got you. All right. And date of birth. Born 4:15 a.m. Okay. And Los Angeles. Okay, got you. Now, what you didn't put are the questions. I need the questions. You see what I'm saying? So I need you to give me the questions so that I can be able to put them in perspective, okay? So once you give me the questions, and you can put it, if you want to put the questions here, I'm ready. I'm ready. Money, career, and health. Ooh, you went there with the career and health. Money, career, and health. All right. Let me progress your chart. So what I'm going to take a look at is we're going to look at the money because you put money first. Money. Money is represented by Venus. And also in your chart, and particularly the moon, because you have Cancer sitting on your second house in your progress chart. You also have in your second house Eros, Dark Mode Lilith, the Sun, Jupiter, Mercury. All right? So what I'm going to take a look at is the connection between your moon and Venus. All right? Because your moon and Venus midpoint is going to tell me about money situations for you, how it's going to be looking. All right, and your moon, Venus, is in Taurus in the 12th house. 22nd degrees, Taurus, that's in the Aquarius duad. 22nd degrees, 50 minutes is the Aquarius duad. And Aquarius is sitting on your 9th house. Don't worry, I'm get to it. I'm gonna tell you so I can explain this to you. Give me a second. I got you. So just a minute. I'll be right with you. Let me click this in. All right, so you're, 1 second here. 1 second. So that's Moon, Venus in Taurus in the 12th house. let's see. Let me take a look at this chart again. So your sun, your moon, Venus in Taurus, basically that's a sweet spot. All right, that's money instinct. You have because you can feel value and you can tell that it's worth it. Now, what your money situations tend to look like, especially with that placement, quiet money patterns. You may not talk about your finances much, and you may not even fully track it the way you should. Not because you're careless, maybe like you're private, and money feels emotional for you right now. There's invisible spending, invisible giving, and the 12 houses, the house of things you do behind the scenes. So you might be the type to help people financially, cover things, cover something, donate, lend, and save someone. Then later wonder why your own bank account doesn't really reflect how hard you've worked. Um, Comfort spending, that's another thing with the moon, Venus in Cancer, in Taurus. And you comfort spend when you're stressed. And moon Venus can self-soothe through things like beauty, food, a little luxuries, upgrades. And Taurus, especially, even if you have a little bit, it seems as if you may find the need to do that. Like, like you try to make life feel good again, and that's not wrong, but it becomes a problem when it's your stress medication. Okay? And with this place of money comes through seasons, not always steady at first. It could be like a quiet buildup for you. One strong payout, then a dip because you disappeared, got tired, or went in a retreat mode, or didn't put in the effort more so in the side business or any kind of side hustle that you may have. All right, now I'm gonna tell you where the power comes in. And the power comes in is the fact that it's in Taurus. And Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus rules money, and Taurus rules money. So I'd say, you know, you're not really here to hustle like everybody. So, because Taurus is about building something real, stable, high quality, and repeating it over and over until you get bored. And there's no boring with it. And 12 hours sort of do it in a way that's private, behind the scenes, healing, remote, or connected to. All right? It's connected to that. You say you're in a transition? Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to continue with this. And so behind the scenes, right? Institution, retreats, hospitals, nonprofit, or work done on a public view. Now, because it's an Aquarius duad, this add a little twist to it. Like you need to be doing things online, having tech, probably getting in a community or having a community that supports you. You know, creating membership, whatever it is that you do, making it unconventional, and having multiple different streams of income. You're using your network to have money. So that's what that duad is showing. So you're not here to hustle like everybody else. You're here to create a quiet machine that pays you even when you're not on, you know. Now, the formula is private, premium, something that you can repeat, and doing it online. If you do that, your chart starts to act and behave like it's supposed to. Now, there's some actual ways that you can make money, and like I said, membership, subscription, if you get into anything, especially when it comes to like your knowledge or information that you may have, that's important. A paid community, monthly coaching. It could be monthly readings. I don't even know if you do readings or coaching, but it's showing that. Content vault, meaning only certain people could see certain stuff. And inner circle access is one. Even if you start small, a concierge style service, that's 12 house, VIP support packages, private client retainers, uh, done for your work, where you are not visible, but you are essential. So even if you say you just, your career, you're in a transition, this is showing that that's a great way to make that money. Because it's also in the 12 hours. This could deal with wellness, calming experiences. It could deal with, meditation, hypnosis, sound work, beauty, aesthetics, music, food, fragrance. All of these fall underneath that. Anything sensual and soothing. Digital products, you can do courses, templates, guides, audio libraries, toolkits. And this is basically isolated to your chart. This is not a general conversation. It's basically to your chart. All right? You're not built, you're built to stack things. Like, you need to be doing multiple things. And all those multiple things behind the scenes are going to get you what you need. Now, your biggest money enemy is, I'll deal with it later. All right? That's one. Second, you don't pricing, not pricing high enough. That's one of my problems as well. However, mine is sort of limited to a certain time frame because I know what everybody's going through. Also, not enforcing enough boundaries, letting people take your energy for free, and I'll just help them turning into resentment later. And resentment on their behalf because you've been extending yourself so much to the point where they expect it. It becomes entitled to them and they resent you because you cut that off. All right? That's basically when it comes to your money. You gotta put a price on your privacy, and take the, track the invisible leaks. That's the, what have you, basically. All right? So that's what I'm seeing when it comes to that. So yeah, current in the stock market, I have been doing okay, but I'm thinking about going at it full time. So another night, if you're in the stock market, you're talking with the right person. Now they've deleted me off Facebook because I mentioned this, but there's something called financial astrology. There's something called financial astrology. All right. Now, if that's what you're into, you could hire me as a retainer. If you message me on TikTok, I'm going to show you something. All right. I'm going to show you something. All right. When it comes to astrology, I have software that could help with your stock market and helping to make the best decisions, knowing how to follow stocks when they're up and down. Because stocks also have birth times. They also have a chart. And it's so fortunate that I'm a part of a circle and I have a software that track the date and times of those stocks. So I'm able to know when they're actually up or when they're going to be down. I just have not done it for myself. I just pass information. I'm learning day trade, but stock and the stock market is different, right? It's sort of similar but different. And I'm able to help with that. But I can't say that too much on this because YouTube flags you, TikTok flags you, Facebook flags you. They don't want us to say, they just want you to talk about day trading. But they don't want you to talk about astrology in trading or astrology in day trading. So send me a message. We're going to talk about that. Now, as it pertains to, because you said cash, money, what else you say? All right. Money, career, and health. Let's go to the health. So now, you're actually now a progressed Gemini rising. Now I'm going to your natal chart first. You have vertex that you're at Aries rising. Okay, makes sense. Now there are things that are connected to your health because you have Uranus sitting on your in your sixth house of health, and you also have the ruler of the sixth house and Pluto there in which is the ruler of your sixth house naturally together in the 11th degree of Scorpio. Now, 11th degree of Scorpio, that's the duad of Pisces. And Pisces is sitting on your 10th house. Okay. And the 10th house is a house of bones, teeth, skin. These are things that are definitely connected to the 10th house. Pisces is the parasympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight mechanism. And then you have the sixth house of Scorpio on it. Now, Scorpio is about your your reproductive organs and your excretory organs. Your reproductive organs are, as a woman, it's your ovaries, your vagina, and, you know, anything dealing with that area. And because your Vesta, Pluto, midpoint, is there in the duad of Pisces, I would say there's some structure going on there. Now, Uranus in the sixth house normally brings about sudden things, especially when it comes to health, and especially when it comes to the reproductive organs. Okay? All right. All right, so what you mentioned? Oh, yes. You're gonna get into the stock. You're thinking about going into full time. Okay. Going to Manchester Sun. Okay. Yes. Health wise, like I said, health wise, there's iron deficiency. Uranus inside the sixth house normally creates iron deficiency, which means that you need to take on and eat more iron filled foods. This is very typical of people who go their whole life being regular and also with anemia being developed, meaning low iron is showing it in your chart. The parasympathetic nervous system is also there, which also regulates your sleep, which means that you could also be going through a sort of a moments of insomnia or moments of not being able to control how sleepy you get. There's two extremes with that. Okay? With that area, even though you're not having any more kids, that doesn't mean that those things down there are things that are probably developing. And this could be fibroids, this could be anything dealing with endometriosis. All these things are connected to the same area. And I'm not saying that's what you're suffering from. I'm saying that these are things that are coming up in my subconscious mind as I speak to you. So I don't know if that's what it means for you, but either which way, it means getting checked on regularly, making sure that you're with the doctor, making sure that they see what they see. But those are the areas of concern. If there's any areas of concern when it comes to health, it's in the reproductive organs, even if you're not having children. Okay? Yeah, so that's health, career, and money. Career-wise, last question, I got you. Basically, you're in the right field. Your MC is in Aquarius in the ninth house. Now, guess what rules the stock market? What rules the stock market is the ninth house. It rules markets. It rules importing, exporting, trading, so to speak. And Aquarius rules the internet. So the stock market is very much connected to your MC being in Aquarius in the ninth house. That's the career you need to be in. Now let me take a look at the duad. Let me take a look at the duad it's sitting in to see if and what area this is. So Aquarius, 21 degrees, 43 minutes. Aquarius 20 degree, 21, is it 23 degrees? Oh, I mean, 21 degrees, 43 minutes. 21 degrees, 43 minutes. In Aquarius is the Libra Dubai, which represents balance, the scale. So you're in the field that you're supposed to be in, sugar. Like you are literally living out your chart when it comes to your career. This is something that you definitely you're in it right there. You need to behind the scenes, working behind the scenes fits in with your moon Venus, being behind the scenes. As a matter of fact, getting very skilled at what you do and also creating a private elite area where you could help people to do what you do and creating courses. It's going to also create money for you. All right? All right. Thank you very much for choosing me. Dawn Knight, sorry. And if you're interested, send me a message on TikTok. We'll go from the hours on 2 hours and 21 minutes. All right, y'all. Should I do it full time? I'm currently swinging trade. Oh, okay, thank you. Yes, you should do it full time. Let me see if there's anybody, because I don't want to miss out on anybody that. Okay. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. I wish you the best on your endeavors. I know you're going to do great. I just know it. I just know you're going to be good. You're going to be great. All right, y'all. Yeah. It's been a pleasure being with y'all for 2.5 hours. I'm going to do this more often with you guys so we can, build our community back up again. I can't wait to start doing regressions to the people that who used to be here. I'm going to be here again, It's going to be awesome. All right, guys. I appreciate you. I enjoy you. As you know, whoever messes me in TikTok. Let's go. And y'all follow me on TikTok. If you're watching this video, follow me on TikTok. All right, guys. Excellent. Anyway.